Hey adventurers, welcome to Costa Rica. We are in Arenal and we are looking for all sorts of things at night. This frog right here is probably one of the coolest things that we will see. This is a red-eyed tree frog or red-eyed leaf frog. You can see they're pretty easy to identify with that bright red eye like that. We'll show you some others later where we'll look a little bit more at some of the colors that are hidden beneath their legs. Because he's revealing some even more, he's concealing some cool colors from us. Stay tuned and we'll find a bunch of stuff tonight. So one of the cool things about being in Costa Rica is just at your hotel room is often a great place to look for herps. So even starting off our night, we can see right on the edge here, still at our room, we have 1, 2, 3, and 4 frogs. Now these are all masked frogs. Now if we get a close look at this guy here, you can see he's got that sort of black line and that black mask that goes through his eye. And of course, this guy has it here. They're quite variable in coloration. You can see these two at the top are fairly brown in color, and if we look down there, this guy here is a lot greener, and that guy is kind of I think he's a little green too. So really cool. And honestly, if we just kind of come over here to another wall, and oh, where did it go? Where was it? It's over here. It's over here. Right up there. Let's zoom in a bit. There we go. This is a gecko, and in fact this is one of the native geckos here. This is a turnip-tailed gecko, a northern turnip-tailed gecko, and they can be actually quite large. We once saw one that was more like 6 or 7 inches, so really cool. And if we're lucky, zoom back out a little bit, we may even be able to see another species just at our room. I don't see one at the moment, but I heard them earlier. There are morning geckos here, which are a non-native species, but we've seen them before. Let me see if I can find them. Let me come over here. You know, I see one up there. I gotta zoom in a little bit. There you go. You can see his little tiny feet there. That is that morning gecko. They're much more like, they look kind of pale or almost translucent in color, and they're, like I said, they're not native to here, but they're pretty common in very urban settings. And you know, one of the reasons that they can be sort of prolific here is because they don't need males to reproduce. The females can reproduce all on their own. And this is certainly a rare thing that happens, but there are a couple other reptiles that have this behavior. For example, there's a couple types of whiptails that'll do this, and the Brahminy blind snake as well. What is on that? That looks like some huge beetle. Let's zoom in a little bit there too. I have no idea what that is. Huh. I don't know. Some kind of cool looking beetle there. I don't know. Maybe I'll look that up later and figure out what that might be. But anyway, this is a great start to our night here in the Arenal region. This is the region of Costa Rica that has a nice big volcano. So let's see what else we can find tonight. Okay folks, this area is really cool. There's just really an abundance of diversity right here. Now I don't know, it's a little hard to tell here. Let me zoom in a little bit. You can see there are a couple frogs in this water here, and this you can see the steam coming up. These are geothermal pools, so the water is actually quite warm. Now those frogs down there, they're part of the lithobates family. These are valent frogs, And if we back up a little bit, right there on that leaf is a green basilisk. That's a lizard. They're also known as the Jesus Christ lizards. That applies to all of the basilisk lizards. But then also, if we just come over here just a little bit, look at that. We've got one more sleeping on the leaf here. And like we've talked about, a lot of lizards will sleep on leaves unless it's like really heavily raining to protect them. And you know, these guys are pretty well camouflaged and they're hard to see. And then if I look in right there, you can see we have another frog. This is, let me get there. There we go. This is mahogany tree frog, and they're one of the main sounds that we're hearing right now. And then just back up a little bit, look down right there, that huge frog at the bottom. This is a fin-toed frog. The locals here usually call them bullfrogs, and it's also known by the nickname the smoky jungle frog. So really, really neat to sort of see just such an incredibly diversity and abundance in just this one little spot. Now there are there's even a couple more species that are hiding out here. Let's see if I can come show you one. If we just go a little bit over here, where was it? It's somewhere. And and up there, look at that. Okay, zoom in. Oh my goodness. Wow. Look at that frog. Possibly a Mexican tree frog. Alright, first up for a closer look is this valence frog right here. Now, these frogs, if you're in the United States, they might look very familiar. Our green frogs look very, very similar, and they are in the same genus, lithobates. Lithobates means rock climber, and they're often found in like pond areas, and you know, they can climb up, you know, little rocks like that, and they're often seen on the shore. That's kind of where they get their name from. All right, here is a closer look at that tree frog that we saw earlier. This is a mahogany tree frog, and like I said, these are calling all around us. They're really just kind of all yellow and creamy. They have a nice yellow vocal sac. It's also the first day that we've seen these fellows, so really exciting for us. Really cool to see. Will he give us a little call? Probably not while I have the light on him. Maybe if it was raining, they might call. But usually once the light gets on them, they kind of stop calling. You see he even deflated his vocal sac for a bit. So I'll take the light off of him and let him get back to showing off who he is. Alright folks, we are very lucky tonight. This has been one of the most common frogs that we've seen, but is certainly one of the most beautiful and interesting to find, and it is right here. Look at that. This is the red-eyed tree frog, or red-eyed leaf frog, and super easy to identify with those bright red eyes there. Now you'll notice that they have a lot of blue on the side and really orange toe pads. Now that is because we are towards the Caribbean coast in Costa Rica. If we were closer to the Pacific coast, we would see a lot less blue and a lot more yellow on the sides. I happen to think the Pacific ones are a lot prettier. So let's see if we can angle it a little bit better. Look at that. What a cool species of frog. And then also in this little area, if I turn around and I don't want to fall in the water, somewhere along the edge, we should have another one of our common species. Let's see, back there. There it is. Get a little bit closer. Whoop. There we go. Look at the size of that. This is a giant toad. They used to be the same species as the cane toad, but they split them off into separate species. But it is huge. And the easiest way to identify these toads, and cane toads as well, is that huge triangular parotid gland that's on the side of the body. Just look at that. Wow. Very, very cool. Now, I don't want to lose my balance, but this little pond has been nice. I don't see any other frogs here immediately. There's probably more. I certainly hear all the common tink frogs calling, but those are kind of, they can be a little difficult to search for because they're very, very small and they're often up high in the tree. But if we do see one, I will be sure to let you know. So anyway, we will continue with the hunt. Hey folks, check out this toad right here. This is a litter toad, and in our past videos we've actually seen some that were a lot smaller, so it's nice to see one that's full size here. One of the easy ways to tell this is a toad is you can see the parotid gland behind the eye there, and these toads have a really cool sort of dark face inside to them. I feel like it's really unique in the pattern to these toads. And they really do blend in very well with the leaf litter. That's sort of why they get their name. So very cool to see this toad. And I'm sure we'll find a lot of other things soon.
So this creature's pretty cool. This is a helmeted iguana, and in fact they can even change color. And they use that changing of color to be camouflage, as I say, really, really still to hide from predators and to find prey. In fact, they stand so still that some scientists have even discovered plants growing on top of them. It is unbelievable how cool these things are.
Alright folks, check out this little beauty. This is an emerald glass frog. They are glass frogs because they're kind of transparent, and if you shine a light, let's try like this, you can really see how much light passes through them and the leaf, and sometimes you can see like their organs or even like eggs inside. So really cool to see this little frog here. Alright, check out this little frog. This is an hourglass tree frog, or a harlequin tree frog. The sort of dark spot on the back kind of looks like an hourglass. It's one of the ways you can identify them. They're small, and they can be kind of noisy.
Okay, we finally found a common tink frog. Now, these frogs are always in these tiny little crevices, and so they can be quite hard to find. But like I pointed out earlier, they're one of the loudest sounds that we're hearing around us, that little tink, tink, tink. We kind of hear it everywhere throughout the jungle. It's very cool to see. This is a brilliant forest frog, and they're kind of neat. They have these bright red areas behind their legs, and so when they jump away, you can see that nice red color to them, and it's a really easy way to identify them on the go. Well, this is really neat. Two of those harlequin tree frogs, or those hourglass tree frogs in amplexus, they're mating. The males are often smaller, and you can see here that the male is on top, and he is smaller than the female, and even a little lighter in color. So really cool to see some of the magic that's in the air tonight.
So this is kind of neat. If you look up there, we have some eggs of what I believe are red-eyed tree frog eggs. And so what happens is once the little frogs form in there, they'll turn into tadpoles. And on a nice, good, heavy rain, they will drop down into a puddle, just like this one. And you can see, if you look closely in here, where's a good one? We even have tadpoles here. That's really neat. Oh, there's a nice big one with some legs on it already. But these guys will grow up and turn into different types of, some type of frog, which again I think is red-eyed tree frog, but I don't know for sure. Hey, thanks for watching. Remember to like and subscribe. I'm Greg Schechter. This is Schechter Natural History, and I'll see you in the field.